A leaf resting in sunlight. Still, silent, unnoticed. But inside it, something extraordinary is happening. An invisible exchange. Light turning into life. Air transforming into breath. A quiet process. So constant, so essential, that without it, you wouldn't be here. None of us would. And yet, for centuries, no one truly understood it. How something so simple could hold the secret to life itself. Until one man looked closer, not just at the leaf, but at the light touching it. And what he found changed everything. But like so many truths before their time, it didn't bring him the recognition he deserved. It slowly faded, while others stepped into the story. This is Forgotten Minds, where the most essential discoveries often come from those history nearly erased. He was born in 1730, in Breda, a quiet city in the Netherlands, a place far removed from the grand centers of power, but not from curiosity. From an early age, he was drawn to science, not the kind that stays in books, but the kind that questions everything. He studied medicine, trained as a physician, a profession built on understanding life and preserving it. But even as he treated patients, his mind wandered beyond the human body, toward something larger, the systems that sustain life itself. And at the time, one mystery stood unresolved. Air. What was it? What did it do? Why did it matter so much? Scientists were beginning to explore these questions, but the answers were incomplete, fragmented. Some had observed that plants could refresh air, that something about them made environments healthier, but no one fully understood how or why. And that's where he stepped in. But not immediately, because life had other plans. His medical skill brought him recognition, opportunity. He traveled, moved across Europe, eventually finding himself in a position few could have imagined. He became the personal physician to the Austrian royal family in Vienna, a role of prestige, of stability, of responsibility. He treated emperors, advised nobility, lived in a world far removed from the uncertainty of experimentation. And yet, even there, the questions followed him, because curiosity doesn't disappear when comfort arrives. It grows, quietly, patiently, waiting for its moment. And when it came, he returned to research, to experimentation, to the unanswered mystery of plants and air. He began with something simple, placing plants in water, exposing them to sunlight, watching carefully. And then he noticed it. Tiny bubbles, forming on the leaves, rising through the water. At first glance, insignificant. But he knew better, because nothing in nature is without reason. He asked the question others hadn't fully pursued. What are these bubbles? Where do they come from? And why do they only appear in light? So he changed the conditions, moved the plants into darkness. The bubbles disappeared. Back into light. They returned, again and again, consistent, predictable, undeniable. And slowly, a realization began to form. Plants weren't just passive. They were active participants in the environment. They were doing something essential, something invisible. They were taking in air, transforming it, and releasing something new, something vital, what we now understand as oxygen. He had uncovered the core mechanism of photosynthesis, the process by which plants use sunlight to convert carbon dioxide into energy, releasing oxygen as a byproduct, a process that sustains nearly all life on Earth, a process that connects the sun, the air, and every living being. It was profound, foundational, a discovery that should have placed him among the most recognized scientists in history. And for a moment, it seemed like it might. His work was published, read, discussed, but then something familiar happened. The credit began to blur. Because science is rarely a single moment. It builds, layer by layer, and others had contributed before him. Others would build after him. Names like Joseph Priestley, who discovered that plants could restore air, and Antoine Lavoisier, who helped define the role of oxygen. Their contributions were significant, important, but his connected the pieces. He showed that light was essential, that the process depended on it, that plants didn't just improve air randomly, they transformed it through interaction with sunlight. And yet, over time, his name began to fade behind theirs, not erased completely, but softened, reduced, overshadowed. Because history doesn't always distribute credit evenly. Sometimes, it remembers fragments and forgets the one who brought them together. Still, he continued his work, exploring electricity, heat, other aspects of natural science, always questioning, always observing. But the world around him was changing. Recognition shifted, focus moved. And slowly, he stepped further into the background, not because his work lost value, but because attention moved elsewhere. He lived his later years moving between countries, England, Austria, France. A life shaped by movement, by adaptation, by the search for places where ideas could continue to grow. He passed away in 1799, quietly, without the global recognition his discovery truly deserved. And yet, every breath we take carries his legacy. Every tree, every leaf, every moment sunlight touches green, and something unseen begins. The man who discovered how plants turn light into life didn't just study nature, he revealed the foundation of existence itself. But like so many before him, he was remembered, just a little too faintly. His story leaves behind a quiet truth, that some of the most important discoveries are so fundamental. We forget to ask who found them. We accept them, without remembering the mind that first understood them. The man who uncovered photosynthesis didn't just answer a question. He changed how we see life itself, even if the world didn't fully see him in return. His name was Jan Ingenhousz. And if this story made you pause, even for a moment, then help keep it alive. Subscribe, so these forgotten voices continue to be heard. Like the video, so more people can rediscover what history almost overlooked. And if you want to explore the truth behind his work, the references are waiting for you in the first pinned comment just beneath the surface.